I'd like to call this Cookeville City Council meeting July 7th, 2011 to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Anderson, Councilman Woodford,
Present.
Mayor Swallows,
Here.
Vice Mayor Epps, Councilman Albright. Present. 3 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, item 1, consider approval of agenda as presented. Do we have changes to the agenda?
We need to pull item 11, ratification of the charter change relative to the hospital, because it requires 4 votes and we only have 3 council members here.
All right. Guess we have to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion for approval as amended?
I so move.
Second.
All right. All vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
All right. Item 2, consider approval of minutes of council meeting held on June 16th and June 30th, 2011. Have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. All vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, on to the consent agenda. Item 3, set a date, August 4th, 2011, for a public hearing on ordinance 110713, rezoning from RD, single family and duplex residential, to CL, local commercial. Properties located on West 7th Street, West 8th Street, and West 8th Street and Laurel Avenue. And then item 4, set a date, August 4th, 2011, for public hearing on ordinance 110714, closure and abandonment of a portion of an undeveloped alley right-of-way located between North Whitney Avenue and Armstrong Avenue, and declaring it as surplus. Item 5, consider awarding bids for transformers and cable from the electric department. Item 6, consider awarding bids for annual and semi-annual materials from the Public Works Department. And item 7, consider awarding bids for chemicals from the Water Quality Control Department. Do have a motion for approval and a second on the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, on to new business. Item 8, hold a public hearing. Consider on first reading ordinance 110606, rezoning the northwest corner of Foreman Drive and Bill Smith Road from RS10, single family residential, to CG, general commercial. Sponsors Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, this proposed rezoning was initiated by the property owners, Lloyd and Gail Harris. Here's the location of the property. This is, as you stated, for a portion of parcel 5702 on tax map 65. Here's an aerial view of the property. According to a survey, the entire parcel consists of 1.407 acres, with the eastern portion, the portion highlighted in the red, which is the portion requested for rezoning, consisting of 0.505 acres. And that would leave the remaining portion, which would stay as RS10, consisting of 0.902 acres. A request to rezone the entire tract, the entire 1.4 acres, were previously denied by the Planning Commission twice, in August of 2008 and again in January of 2010. And again, this is only for a portion of the property. The property is contiguous with the Bill Smith subdivision and RS10 zoning to the west, with CG zoning to the north and east, and with CI, commercial industrial mixed use, zoning to the south. The western portion of the subject property, which is the 0.9 acre tract, was originally platted as Lot 1 of the Bill Smith subdivision. This lot was at that time, as a part of that subdivision, included in the deed restrictions for that subdivision. The remaining half acre tract was actually a remnant of Bill Smith Road and Foreman Drive when they were realigned and became or was incorporated into this remaining 9/10 of an acre to make up the entire parcel that we're currently looking at. Here's a view from the street of this property. It doesn't show up real well, but this next photograph might help some. There's a significant elevation difference in the property down at Bill Smith Road up to the neighboring Bill Smith subdivision, with the subdivision being at a much higher elevation than the lower eastern section or the section that's being proposed for rezoning. Our land use plan shows this property as being best suited for mixed density residential use. However, it's contiguous with areas shown as being best suited for general commercial and commercial industrial mixed use. Bill Smith Road and Foreman Drive are both classified in our comprehensive plan as major collector streets, and there are adequate utilities available to this property. In the opinion of the planning department, the portion of the property that's been proposed for rezoning is not desirable for single-family residential development, and approval of the requested rezoning would allow the property owner a reasonable use of the property while maintaining a significant buffer at no less than 100 feet in width between the established residential areas to the west. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of the rezoning request, and the Planning Department concurs with the recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Have a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Mr. Mills, do you know what they're planning on putting out there?
No, but it would have to be very limited in terms of size. They didn't specify. This tract, being relatively small, also has significant setbacks on the property with the road frontage it has. They did submit a site plan that I don't have with me tonight that went to the Planning Commission that showed us a very small structure, but they haven't indicated what particular use would be there.
And again, the two times it was denied previously, what was the reasons for that?
Then the request was for the entire tract.
Okay.
And in this alternative, and it had been suggested at the two times it was denied, but that wasn't pursued. And in this most recent request, they've agreed or pursued this with leaving the just under 1 acre tract as a residential area. And again, if you've been out there and the photograph didn't really do the justice, it's pretty much straight up and down, and it would serve as a nice buffer.
It's grown up right there too,
Yes.
in between there. So I mean, it's just a natural one. Okay. Any other questions or comments from the audience? All right. Seeing none, all vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. On to item number 9. Hold a public hearing and consider on first reading ordinance 110607, rezoning properties on South Jefferson Avenue, Commerce Avenue, and Arthur Drive from CI Commercial Industrial to CG General Commercial. Sponsors Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, this rezoning proposal was actually initiated by the Planning Department. The area that's being considered is depicted on the map. Here's an aerial view that shows the land uses in this area, and I'll come back to that. And I'll get this to click. The current zoning of the properties. And as you stated, this consists of 5 parcels in their entirety and a portion of one other. So you can see on this map, these properties are contiguous to the west with with CG zoning to the west, with PCD and RS15 zoning to the north, RS15 zoning to the east, and CG and CI zoning to the south. The Kmart shopping center is located to the north, and the Walmart shopping center to the south. Combined, this entire area, including street right-of-ways, consists of approximately 26.5 acres. The reasons for initiating this request were twofold. First, the zoning of parcel 1.01 is currently split. Well, if I had that whiteboard, I could show you on this, but it's there at the corner of Jefferson and Arthur Drive, where the a dry cleaner and the new liquor store, that zoning is split on that property. And the second reason is that the development of this area in the past couple of years has occurred in a fashion that's more appropriate and more desirable for CG. Some of the things that have happened in there have been the rehabilitation of the old Red Cap building into the UCHRA building. We also have a new strip commercial center that's being built in front of that. Previously, this area had Red Cap, and then the city had a sewage treatment facility. Those have all been removed, so the area has developed more in a CG fashion. Now, we notified all the property owners in this area about the rezoning, And Gary McNabb, who was one of the primary owners in this area, who owns the area where Red Cap is and also owns the largest vacant tract, which is the tract immediately to the east of the Red Cap building, came to the Planning Commission meeting, and he was opposed or concerned about the rezoning. There were two reasons. One, he had some indication that UCHRA may want to build a warehouse building beside them on this property to the east, and he also, that's the same parcel to the south of that, he had potentially had plans to build a mini storage facility. At the meeting, it was noted that the warehouse facility would be allowed in CG, that would not affect that. In terms of the mini storage facility, that would be allowed as a special exception, requiring him to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The Planning Commission didn't feel like that was a major encumbrance on this and recommended for approval the rezoning of all 5 properties and the portion of the parcel. The Planning Department, of course, concurred with this recommendation.
All right, do we have a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, any questions or comments?
Serving on the Planning Commission, I think it was their feeling that when this was brought before us, Mr. McNabb was talking about the property adjacent to the South Jefferson, and it'd be CG in the back stay CL, and we decided on the Planning Commission while we were doing this, might as well do that whole section of property as CG, and that's just the feeling. It also helps protect the people, the residents in the RS-15 area right behind that property. It gives them some protection too.
Now, we did not include in this, and I did mention this, we did not include the Public Works garage property nor Adams USA property. They would stay as CI because they are more appropriately zoned as CI.
In the Adams USA there, they have expanded in years past, right? And do they have more space there if they needed to expand?
Not very much.
Not much.
Now, they do own, or it's the parcel across the street there in the corner. Boy, if I had that smart board, that would show you where.
That's assuming you knew how to operate.
That's a big assumption. They do own the property directly across there in the horseshoe there. But that property has some topographic issues, and it'd be difficult to develop up from Arthur Drive. It would have to be most likely developed off of Commerce.
Any other questions? Any comments from the audience? All right. Seeing none, I'll vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
All right. On to item number 10. Hold a public hearing and consider on first reading ordinance 110608, rezoning 1068 East 10th Street from CN Neighborhood Commercial to CL Local Commercial. Sponsors Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, this rezoning request was appealed by the property owner from the Planning Commission, with the Planning Commission recommended for denial of this. The properties are located, as you stated, on the corner of Fisk and 10th. Here's an aerial view that I'll be glad to come back to. Let me get to the zoning map. As you can see from this map, the properties are contiguous with RM14 multifamily residential and CN zoning to the east, RS10 single-family residential to the north, CL and CN to the south, and CL zoning to the west. These 3 parcels combined consist of 3.9 acres. Prior to December 2007, these properties were zoned as CL local commercial, but they were included in a comprehensive rezoning of several properties to CN along East 10th Street and North Washington Avenue in 2007. During the hearings in 2007, Mr. Turner expressed his opposition to the rezoning, primarily on the basis that he intended to locate a restaurant with a drive-through facility on one of the properties. Drive-through restaurants are not allowed in the CN zone. Mr. Turner has now indicated that he desires the rezoning for the purpose of locating a retail package store on the property. Retail package stores are not permitted in the CN district. Our land use plan that was recently adopted identifies the properties as being best suited for mixed density use, commercial residential use, which more appropriately is classified as CN. A significant amount of study was done prior to the 2007 rezoning of these properties in the other areas along 10th Street and Washington. Several reasons were identified why CN zoning would be beneficial to the immediate area and the city as a whole. The planning department is unaware of any major changes in the area since 2007 that would support rezoning this property back to CL. Additionally, the recent determination of the overlay zoning for retail package stores also involves several months of study, and the planning department is not aware of any justification for expanding the locations for retail package stores only a few months after these locations were established. And as I stated, the planning commission has recommended for denial, and the planning department concurs with this recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Wait a minute. You want the rezoning?
No.
No, I'm sorry, motion to
Motion to deny?
to deny.
Deny.
Sorry.
I was following on his list.
I was too. Sorry about that.
I'll second the motion to deny.
Motion to deny, yes.
Any comments, questions? Thank you, by the way, Councilman.
I feel that the neighborhood commercial is, the planning commission came up with it. It's a good buffer for the people in the neighborhood. I don't see any need to change that.
I would agree. We spent months and months on the package store issue and came up with keeping it out of commercial neighborhood, and so just to turn over a zoning just to allow one right now, I think is a little premature in our introduction to the package store.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree. I think the planning commission has studied this, and we've looked at it several times, and no, I don't think this is the time to do anything like that either.
I concur.
All right. Any questions, comments from the audience? All right. Seeing none. I'll vote.
3 yes votes to deny. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. All right. We will skip item 11. It was taken off of the agenda. And move on to item 12. Consider reappointment to the Environmental Appeals Board. Sponsors Mr. Greg Brown.
Mayor and Council, Jerry Gall's term on the Environmental Appeals Board has expired. He's agreed to be reappointed. I would recommend that he be so.
Motion
Thank you, Mr.
approved.
Brown.
Second.
All right. How long is that?
5 years.
It's 5 years. How many board members are there?
5.
They ever met?
No, never met. But we're ready if we have to.
Like Minutemen, you're on call, right? Any comments, questions? All right. Seeing none, I'll vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. All right, on to item 13. Consider awarding bids for McCully Road Sanitary Sewer Project, Phase 2, and cleaning out water plant sludge lagoons and hauling, spreading the sludge. Water Quality Control Department sponsor, Mr. Ronnie Kelly. Do you need that
Mayor and Council,
smart board too?
Excuse me.
Do you need that smart board too?
There's 2 bids we have presenting tonight. The first one that's on the agenda there is the water plant lagoon clean-out project. And I can't see the board from here. We opened bids, and then 7 bidders. The low bidder was Fred Pippin Construction Company of $188,400, and we'd recommend approval of that bid. Our second bid is the second phase of the McCully Road Sewer Project, and had 5 bidders on that project. Elk Mountain Construction was the low bidder, $912,072.50, and we'd recommend the low bidder in that one. I'll show you what that project consists of. We just finished up the Phase 1 of the McCully Road and just got it finished. And that put sewer service to the areas highlighted there in blue. This project will sewer the rest of the area there, and the parcels highlighted there in beige are the parcels that will get sewer service in this project. And then we added one little section out on Pippin Road. There was a septic tank failure, and after meeting with the state of Tennessee, they couldn't do anything, and it was on the ground, so we added a section there to take care of a problem at that point. So that's what this project consists of.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, do you have a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions? Any questions, comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. On to item 14, consider awarding bids for Southwest Substation Site Prep and Southwest Substation Switchgear Electric, sponsors Electric Department, Mr. Tony Peak.
Mayor and council, we have 2 bids as well associated with the new Southwest Cookeville substation in the new business park. The first is for the site prep. That'll be for the grading, all the dirt work, drainage, and stone. And I'd recommend Elk Mountain Construction as the low bidder meeting specifications. And on the second tabulation sheet for the substation as well is all of the switchgear, the breakers, and a lot of the steel and stuff like that will be needed in that project. Recommend Paracon Corporation, $658,843. This will be part of our $4 million bond issue that we talked about in the budgets, and recommend your approval.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Peak. Do we have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Questions? How long of a project are we looking at? Do you have any idea?
Pardon?
How long of a time frame?
We're hoping to be ready to bring it online at January 1st, 2012.
Good. All right. Any questions from the
We're
audience?
on track to do that.
Okay. Good. Questions, comments from the audience? Seeing none, all vote.
3 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Peak. All right, this is part of the meeting where we open the floor to the hearing of citizens and/or delegations. This is just basically a time when we like to hear from you guys. Anything you want to discuss or talk about, the floor is open. We just ask that you come up to the podium and state your name, and if you could keep it to 3 minutes, that would be great. If there's anybody out there that would like to say anything, comments. All right. Council, any comments? I do have an announcement. In the Herald Citizen, they have the 2011 Reader's Choice Awards. This will be coming out in a week or two, 17th or so. And this was voted on by the readers, and the best city attraction is presented to Dogwood Park. So, I mean, they got the best city attraction. It's not even finished, so it's going to be really good. You can vote something with dirt as the best city attraction. That's pretty impressive. But I wanted to mention that. That's coming along great and looks great even with dirt.
It does.
So keep in mind that there's still trees, lampposts, park benches, all those things you can sponsor if you want your name on the park. I think it'll be a great thing, be here for a long time. So any other announcements? Hope everybody had a good 4th, and this meeting's adjourned.